living again from biblical times. This book that has so much talk of apocalypse and revelation. Apocalypse meaning, of course, I suppose, in the most literal sense and Greek sense, revelation. In these revelatory and apocalyptic times, as our perspective changes, as we no longer just blithely believe, oh, what's happening in Syria now? Al-Qaeda are good now, are they? Okay, I got it. And what Al-Qaeda, they've just plucky Al-Qaeda have pulled themselves together. Al-Qaeda, they're all right. Old Al-Qaeda, they were like the Golden Girls. You know, they're just a bunch of lovely old ladies. Just trying to make, like, everything's just about branding now. You're just told to believe this is what reality is now. Al-Qaeda's good. Like, what are we going to be told in like 5 years' time? Like, ISIS, they were nice people. They were just trying their best. Like, what is the new thing we're going to be invited to believe in next week? This is why what happened with WikiLeaks and Julian Assange is so significant. What began there in the hands of a few is now available to the many. We can all now disseminate information almost immediately that completely unravels official narratives. So they had to invent, didn't they, the category of misinformation. Oh no, now we're not just dealing with Julian Assange revealing little caches of information from Clinton emails. No, now what we've got is everyone's Julian Assange, as our man says. In fact, could you pull up the X feed here, Isaac? Look at this latest post from Elon Musk, top of the feed that we're on. You are the media now, for good or for ill. That's the truth of the situation. The media is everyone. That's why you're seeing the media go into spasms of rage. Well, they shouldn't be able to do that. I went to a nice college. They shouldn't be able to do that. Look at my credentials. Well, what did your credentials do for us at the height of the pandemic? Did you report openly and honestly? Did you take to task and take to hand the pharmaceutical industry and their relationships with the deep state? Did you take to task big tech's infiltration by the deep state? Why should we ever trust them again? Will we ever trust them again? This is a time. Don't stop, is what I would say to you. Don't stop at, oh, I get it now. The media are lying to us and you can't trust the government. Keep going. Keep going. What are the real powers? Where's it really, really coming from? Let's get right into it. And let's have a look at how long this has been going on. This is a CIA intelligence officer, Larry C. Johnson, talking about the United States' historic involvement in the war in Syria as we attempt to get a better, deeper understanding of recent events in that country.
This isn't just Turkey. This is the United States. This is the United Kingdom. This is an extension of the war in Ukraine. This is an extension of the attempt to start a coup in Georgia, a new Maidan. This is not narrow. This isn't about Syria. This is about a much broader effort by the United States to hang on to its power, to control and dictate who gets to be in control here. Understand, there are also Ukrainian soldiers in Syria side by side with the HTS fighters. They've been training them. They've helped arm them. How do you think they got there? It's not this is the United States and Great Britain helping foment this and carry this out. And it's been coordinated also with Israel. This is the West in its full-blown corruption, in my view.
How are we going to marry together these two ideas? To awaken, to enter the kingdom of heaven, of true consciousness, where your consciousness can reach into deep understanding. You must become as little children. Along with Paul, who had his revelation on the road to Damascus, edict that we have to put aside childish things. How do we bring together those two worlds? I suppose it's by recognizing that we no longer live in the reality that we felt we lived in even a decade or so ago, that we have to acknowledge that what we learned from Julian Assange about Afghanistan can likely be applied in not obvious, but in general ways to the conflict in Ukraine. What we learned about about the war against terror that it was ignited by the invasion of Iraq and the tragedy of 9/11 likely has its manifestations and tendrils observable in news events today. By which I mean, are there really weapons of mass destruction? Is Saddam Hussein really involved in this? Let me know in the comments and chat the kind of questions that come to you when you look at reality, their version of reality from that perspective, and ask yourself this: can we trust the legacy media? I'd love to see a BBC report on this. In fact, Isaac, if you can pull up what BBC 24 are talking about right now. These new progressive, this is new Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda once were turbans and beards. Now they're lesbians and queers. They're trying their best to take over and bring about a new Syria. Syria will host the Olympics. The Olympics is going to be held in the dead of night, and we're going to have trans people participating. The reality is just the opening ceremony of the Olympics is going to be the 9/11 towers being kicked over by a little trans boy. They're just telling you reality is whatever it is while denying an ulterior, deeper truth. How do we bring together truth and love simultaneously? It's a big challenge, man, to live in truth and love simultaneously. We cannot believe what they invite us to believe. We've seen it play out too many times. Remember the moment where Edward Snowden realizes the depth to which he's being observed and tracked. Remember his horror when he looked around a hotel room. They're listening to you with these devices. They're tracking everything you do. They can at any time just conjure up stories about you, destroy you if you become inconvenient. Let's have a look at how your man Larry there continues to unpack the likely lineage of this latest revelation. The war against free speech is in full swing. We are the vanguard, bravely fighting back. Rumble's the home of this channel, Stay Free, and a leader in defending the fundamental human right of free speech. They've joined X to sue a cartel of advertisers and ad agencies who conspire to block ad revenue from going to the platforms. Recently, they've launched Rumble Premium. This, I think, is going to be a game changer for all of us. It's an ad-free viewing experience with great perks for viewers and creators. Rumble Premium will give you the ability to dive into your favorite content on your mobile or desktop or smart TV and savor every uninterrupted second of my content. Why don't you upgrade to Rumble Premium today? Support my free, bravely fighting back full of advertisers and ad agencies who conspire to block ad revenue from going to the platforms. Recently, they've launched Rumble Premium. This, I think, is going to be a game changer for all of us. It's an ad-free viewing experience with great perks for viewers and creators. Rumble Premium will give you the ability to dive into your favorite content on your mobile or desktop or smart TV and savor every uninterrupted second of my content. Why don't you upgrade to Rumble Premium today? Support my free speech and the free speech of other content creators on this platform. Please go to Rumble now, rumble.com/premium. And if you use the code BRAND, you'll save $10 and Rumble will be aware that our stream is creating great converts. So that's rumble.com/premium and do use the code BRAND to save $10. Anyway, there's a link there at the bottom of the screen now. We're posting it in the chat. Join up.
So don't get fixated on that this is somehow something internal just to Syria. I mean, that's ridiculous. This is bigger than that, Nima. This is about trying to to defeat Russia and defeat Iran. The problem the West has now is you go back 10 years, actually it was 12 years ago when all of this really started in its fury in 2012. And at that time, the Arab League with, Jordan and Egypt, they booted Syria. You're out. We don't want to be around you. You're bad. Now the Arab League has welcomed Syria back in. And just 2 days ago, the Arab League announced, we stand with Syria. The global South has awakened to the fact that the United States and Europe are colonial powers bent on raping them. They have no interest in peaceful coexistence and treating them as equals. Their goal is to rape the rest of the world, take everything that they can from them without any regard for the populations. And people better damn well wake up and realize that that's what's going on. The global south that sucks up to the United States and sucks up to...
Amazing comment in Rumble from Say Hub. At least we got microwaves. At least we got consumer goods in exchange for a decent relationship with reality. Media, you can have an immediate appraisal of these events and this apparent revolution and these apparent rebels and where they likely get their funding from and what their agenda likely is. And they might not even know what their agenda is. I bet in Syria, they're like, this is brilliant. We've got to free Syria. Where did you get your money from? Who's funding this?